Australia may be out of the Soccer World Cup, but local leagues are growing in popularity in the Territory. Despite the Territory's traditional ties to AFL, the soccer community has big hopes for expanding its talent pool. Melanie Arnost reports.
It's a great sport. It's wonderful to see the participants with smiles on their faces and, enjoying the sport. It's a great environment up here.
It takes skill, speed and above all passion to master the world game.
Just the joys of the game. You get sad, angry, you get happy, all the emotions that the game brings, really.
As World Cup fever infects the nation, the Northern Territory's football community is swelling. In Darwin alone, the local football league is seeing a surge in popularity.
For us, it's an exciting time. I think it's in a phase where we're growing, and also there's a lot of changes at the national level which are feeding down into the Territory as well.
Local clubs like Marara-based University Azuri are reporting an increase in their membership numbers, and some are struggling to keep up with the demand.
Go the other way now, let's go.
We see more than 5,500 young Territorians getting involved in soccer through clinics and games and so forth last year, and more than 2,000 involved in competitive soccer, the fifth biggest sport in the Northern Territory.
Sahara and all that, so it's basically a one-stop shop for information about clubs in the Northern Territory.
Darwin football fanatic Eddie Sepulveda has tapped into the growing appetite for the game by setting up a Facebook group initially aimed at former Darwin players. He says Football Talk NT's numbers soared once younger people came on board.
It went crazy after that. Now we've got over 1,000 members. Most of them are, between 16 and say 30. Families, people from overseas emailing us and telling us stories, and it's amazing. We had some really inspiring stories that give us the energy to continue, because it is hard work.
Football Talk NT has been so popular, Eddie Sepulveda is about to launch it as a website in the hope it will connect the Territory's soccer community.
We tried to put Instagram, for example, is happening pretty much live on the spot. The Facebook page is getting updated with live scores as well, as much as we can. It's a fast world now, so we need to respond accordingly.
There's a lot happening in that social media space, and it's an area that we want to try and continue to develop. Try and put highlights of matches and all sorts of different opportunities for people to connect with the sport. And on that front, thank you very much, Eddie, because you've done a wonderful job.
One of the people that post to Football Talk NT's Facebook page is Darwin football fan Benjamin Lawrence. He's chasing the ultimate football experience, having packed his bags to support the Socceroos in Brazil.
My father, he came through with the goods. He always promised me, he said, we'll go to Brazil World Cup in 2014, way back in, I think it was 98 when they said they were going to get it. One of his friends down south confirmed him and gave him the phone call and said, we've got tickets confirmed for all the Australia games. So yeah, ready to go.
The Socceroos face an extremely tough draw, but that hasn't dampened his spirits.
In the unlikely event we do qualify, which there is a chance, I guess you got to dare to dream, then we'll continue on. We've got tickets up until the actual final if they were to make it. So realistically, it would just be the group stages. But either or, it's still going to be fun.
And it's catching. The Chief Minister also has football fever.
Well, he did defence.
He was recently named Football Federation Australia's Northern Territory patron. Adam Giles is securing some big opportunities for the local league. He's just signed off on negotiations for A-League team Adelaide United to play a competitive game in Darwin.
And they should also be playing a match which will support our Asian growth focus, a match into Timor-Leste and also into Indonesia. So we're just negotiating the final stages of that now. And that's what the linkage with Adelaide United presents. It also allows us to have that avenue and that sport vehicle throughout Asia, and that's something that we have a heavy focus on.
Open it up a bit.
The Territory's peak football body agrees the top end's proximity to Asia is where the future lies for local players.
We've got 4.5 hours to Sydney and 4.5 hours to Singapore, so we really are the gateway to Asia from an Australian perspective.
In Asia, really, the major sport, the only sport that they follow, the major sport is football. And with our connections here, with our teams, we've got a great opportunity to embrace Asia and to establish connections with them.
Many believe the sport's growing popularity could see some future stars emerge.
AFL football is a perfect example. Territory's produced a lot of talent in that code, and there's no reason why we can't do the same in football. But I think in the past the pathways haven't been there, and I think that's because at the national level there hasn't been an interest in creating pathways for players.
Territory clubs hope more opportunities will encourage younger players to stick with the sport as they get older.
Now that we've got the World Cup in Brazil, I'm sure you'll see a greater level of interest in soccer, and it's an opportunity for FFNT and the soccer clubs to get involved in signing more people up.
I think we're in a good place and we're really looking forward to the future in football.